Caitlyn Pototts left sister a chilling last message before she disappeared. Caitlyn Pototts, a 27-year-old Indigenous woman, vanished under troubling circumstances in late February 2016. Originally from Alberta, Caitlyn was known to those close to her as a bubbly, caring young woman and a devoted mother. Her disappearance from Kelowna, British Columbia, has left her family in anguish, and nearly a decade later, they continue to seek answers. Her mother recently described the pain of her daughter's absence as the most difficult experience of her life, emphasizing the deep love and connection Caitlyn shared with her family. The last known communication from Caitlyn occurred on February 22, 2016. She had messaged her sister and her roommate, stating that she was in Kelowna and had arranged for a ride to Calgary through an ad on Kijiji, a popular classifieds site. Her intention, according to family members, was to reach Edmonton, where her sister was living. Caitlyn had been staying in Enderby, a small town about an hour from Kelowna, where she had been living with a man she had been involved with on and off for the previous 2 years. This man, described by Caitlyn's family as abusive, had a documented history of aggression toward her, including an assault charge in 2014. Text messages suggest Caitlyn was still in contact with him the day she disappeared, reportedly upset over unpaid money. Despite this history, the man later denied being in a relationship with her, publicly distancing himself from her altogether. Given Caitlyn's sudden disappearance and her vulnerable situation, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police's Major Crimes Unit soon took over the case. Authorities reportedly told the family that the situation was being treated as a serious matter and potentially as a criminal case. However, over time, Caitlyn's family lost confidence in the investigation. They turned to Indigenous organisations for help, seeking broader support and more pressure for answers. In 2017, surveillance footage surfaced showing Caitlyn at a Kelowna shopping mall the day before she was last heard from, but no further developments were made public. Caitlyn's case resonates far beyond her own tragic story. She is one of many missing Indigenous women in Canada, a national crisis that has been the subject of growing awareness and concern. While Kelowna is not directly along the infamous Highway of Tears, the structural and systemic issues that plague that region, such as inadequate access to safe transportation, are relevant here. Caitlyn had reportedly turned to Kijiji for a ride, a choice that may have left her exposed to unknown risks. It is possible that she was targeted by someone posing as a helpful stranger. Alternatively, some believe the ride was never real and that her disappearance was rooted in the complicated dynamics of her personal life. Yet despite these theories, no firm answers have emerged and critical questions remain. Was the ride genuine? If so, why hasn't the individual who offered it come forward? Caitlyn's story is a heartbreaking reminder of the unique vulnerabilities faced by Indigenous women. It also speaks to the urgent need for better services and safe options for women attempting to leave difficult situations. As her loved ones continue their search for the truth, her case stands as a symbol of resilience, unanswered questions, and the enduring impact of systemic neglect. Man attempts to convert the Sentinelese tribe to Christianity. In November 2018, American missionary John Allen Chow set out on a deeply personal and controversial journey. His destination was North Sentinel Island, a remote and heavily restricted area in the Bay of Bengal, home to one of the last uncontacted tribes on Earth, the Sentinelese people. His mission, driven by a strong religious calling, was to share his Christian faith with a community that had lived in isolation for thousands of years. John believed it was his spiritual duty to bring the message of Christianity to the Sentinelese, despite knowing the risks that came with stepping foot on the island. In his writings, John expressed a clear sense of divine calling. He asked whether North Sentinel Island was Satan's last stronghold and felt that the eternal lives of the Sentinelese were in question. He saw the mission as a worthwhile sacrifice, writing passionately about his desire to introduce Jesus to people who had never heard his name. John was not unaware of the dangers. He acknowledged that he might not return, but still pressed forward, believing his efforts were meaningful and necessary. The Sentinelese people are unique in the modern world. As the last truly isolationist tribe, they have rejected all attempts at outside contact. While there have been brief and often unintentional encounters in the past, the tribe has made it clear they wish to remain untouched by the outside world. Historical incidents, such as the 1867 shipwreck of an Indian merchant vessel, showed early signs of their desire to defend their isolation. Survivors of that wreck described being attacked after 3 days on the island. The Sentinelese, with their red-painted noses, short hair, and expressive gestures, left a lasting impression on those few who lived to describe the experience. Knowing this history, John still attempted to approach the island. He paid local fishermen over $300 to bring him close. Once within range, the fisherman warned him not to continue, telling him clearly that he might not survive the encounter. Undeterred, John paddled toward the island in a kayak and tried to engage the tribe by singing Bible verses. His attempts were met with silence and occasional laughter. Tribal members responded with high-pitched whistles and grunts, and at one point, a boy fired an arrow that pierced John's Bible. Despite this, he remained hopeful and temporarily retreated, only to return again. On November 17th, John made his final approach. This time he told the fishermen to leave him behind. As they sailed away, they looked back to see members of the tribe carrying John away. This was the last confirmed sighting of him. In the aftermath, authorities in India opened an investigation, but it was quickly noted that the Sentinelese cannot be prosecuted. It is illegal to attempt contact with the tribe, primarily to protect them from potential illness and disruption. With no immunity to common diseases, even brief exposure could endanger their entire population. For this reason, the Indian government enforces a strict policy of non-interference. Neil MacLeod, who met John during a flight, later reflected on their conversation. He remembered John as a deeply sincere and kind-hearted individual. They spoke about faith and about John's long-term goal of reaching the Sentinelese. According to Neil, John had been preparing for this mission for 3 years. He knew the dangers, but believed strongly in what he was doing. He wasn't pushy or aggressive. Instead, he was warm, engaging, and committed to his beliefs. Neil described John as a real loss, someone whose intentions were sincere, even if the outcome was tragic. Public reaction to John's journey was deeply divided. While some admired his courage and devotion, others were frustrated by what they saw as an avoidable incident. Critics pointed out that John had multiple chances to turn back. Some argued that his mission, though well-intentioned, disregarded the autonomy and safety of the Sentinelese. One online user remarked that the tribe didn't need saving, stating they had lived in harmony with nature and their own beliefs for generations. Beyond the spiritual debate, the Sentinelese themselves continue to intrigue scientists and anthropologists. Despite living in what many would consider primitive conditions, they are remarkably healthy. They exhibit no known genetic disorders, even with a population thought to be quite small. Most isolated populations experience complications over generations due to genetic bottlenecks. However, the Sentinelese show no such signs. After the devastating 2004 tsunami, many assumed the tribe had been wiped out. Yet, they not only survived but seemed to recover with little difficulty. This resilience has baffled researchers. It suggests that the Sentinelese may carry strong, dominant genetic traits that shield them from the complications typically seen in small, isolated populations. Some believe their genetic makeup could hold insights into long-lost traits that once aided human survival before the onset of modern civilization. Their ability to recover from natural disasters, avoid disease despite no modern medicine, and maintain physical health over generations raises important questions about human adaptability and biology. John Allen Chow's story is a complex one, part tragedy, part cautionary tale, and part spiritual reflection. His mission was rooted in a profound sense of purpose, and while some saw it as intrusive, others saw it as an act of deep faith. His journey reignited discussions about cultural preservation, the ethics of missionary work, and the right of isolated communities to remain untouched by the outside world. The Sentinelese people remain a symbol of independence and mystery. Their existence challenges modern assumptions about progress and survival. For now, they continue to live as they always have, protected by distance, nature, and a global consensus that some places and some peoples are best left undisturbed. Last moments caught on CCTV. The CCTV footage, taken on the evening of Saturday 16th of July, initially appears to capture a simple, carefree moment. Rebecca Press and Mark Ash are seen walking together through the streets of New Tredegar, seemingly relaxed and in good spirits. They were on their way to a local pub, enjoying the warm summer night. To the casual observer, nothing in this brief snapshot of time would suggest that anything was amiss. However, this image would soon become deeply unsettling in hindsight. Just hours later, events took a dark and irreversible turn. Press, who had spent the day drinking and had also taken a number of prescription tablets, began to display erratic behavior. Her mood, once light-hearted, shifted dramatically. At the pub, witnesses described her as becoming increasingly agitated and confrontational. Eventually, she left and returned to her mother's home in Elliotstown, a place that should have offered calm and familiarity. Mark Ash, a neighbour and friend of the family, had already returned to the house by that time. It was there that tensions quickly escalated. Press became involved in a heated argument with her mother and her brother, which prompted concern from Mr. Ash. In an attempt to bring the situation under control, he phoned the police, explaining that tensions in the house had reached a serious point. Throughout this chaos, he continued trying to de-escalate matters, acting as a voice of reason. But despite his efforts, the situation intensified. Press, in a moment of emotional volatility, went into the kitchen, retrieved a knife, and inflicted a single wound. She left the house shortly after and later sent a voice message to her boyfriend in which she acknowledged her actions. When questioned by police later that night, she acted confused, asking whether someone had been seriously hurt. In court, it was revealed that Press had a long history of legal trouble, with numerous previous appearances related to past behavior. The image of that summer evening stroll, once innocuous, now carries a haunting significance. It serves as a stark reminder of how quickly a situation can unravel, and how a single moment captured on camera can mask the deep turbulence that lies just beneath the surface. The mysterious cube seen above Texas. In the expansive skies above Texas, where everything seems bigger and more expansive, an unusual sighting captured the attention of witnesses and enthusiasts alike, a mysterious cube-shaped object. This sighting, reported by multiple witnesses across different locations in Texas, has sparked intrigue and speculation about the nature and origin of the unidentified flying object. The first reports came from rural areas near Amarillo and Lubbock, where residents described seeing a peculiar object hovering silently in the sky. Unlike conventional aircraft or celestial bodies, the UFO was characterized by its distinct cubic shape, with sharp edges and symmetrical sides that defied the typical aerodynamic designs of human-made vehicles. Witnesses recounted how the cube-shaped UFO appeared to hover motionless in the air. Some observers noted unusual dark markings on the surface of the object, hinting at advanced technology or unfamiliar symbols that fueled speculation about its advanced origins. News of the cube-shaped UFO spread rapidly through social media platforms and local news outlets, prompting a flurry of eyewitness accounts, amateur photographs, and videos capturing fleeting glimpses of the mysterious object. Amateur astronomers and skywatchers trained their telescopes and cameras on the skies, hoping to document additional sightings or gather more evidence to corroborate the reports. In the days following the initial sightings, researchers into the unknown and aviation were called upon to analyze the available data and provide insights into the phenomenon. Skeptics cautioned against jumping to conclusions, suggesting that the cube-shaped UFO could be a drone, experimental aircraft, or even a rare atmospheric phenomenon that appeared distorted under specific lighting conditions. Black cube-shaped unidentified flying objects present a perplexing anomaly in the realm of aviation. In stark contrast to conventional aircraft that rely on wings or rotor blades for lift, these mysterious objects exhibit a striking geometric precision, manifesting as flawless cubes hovering in the expanse of the atmosphere and having no visible propulsion system. The emergence of such immaculately structured forms not only defies our existing comprehension of propulsion systems and aerodynamic principles, but also poses intriguing challenges to the very foundation of engineering as we know it. The phenomenon surrounding the black cube-shaped UFOs is incredibly intriguing, with a key aspect being the abundance of credible eyewitness testimonies. These accounts stem from a wide array of sources, such as pilots, military servicemen, law enforcement officers, and seasoned observers. Their detailed portrayals consistently describe cube-shaped crafts showcasing sophisticated flight capabilities, including silent hovering and maneuvers that challenge conventional laws of physics. The diversity of these witnesses adds significant weight to the credibility of these encounters, highlighting a pattern that goes beyond mere speculation and instigates a deeper exploration into the enigmatic nature of these mysterious objects. Images and footage recorded by observers depict these mysterious entities in diverse settings and circumstances. Mysterious triangular structure melting out of iceberg. In the remote expanses of northeastern Greenland, where vast icebergs drift silently through frigid Arctic waters, an intriguing discovery was made that sparked global fascination and debate. It began with an amateur explorer, an enthusiast of satellite imagery, who stumbled upon a mysterious triangular structure seemingly emerging from the ice-covered landscape. This discovery, made possible through the lens of Google Earth, captivated the imagination of the public and ignited speculation about its origin and purpose. The individual who found the mysterious object said that they had always been fascinated by the uncharted and the unknown. Armed with a passion for exploration and a keen eye for detail, the man spent countless hours scouring satellite images of remote regions, searching for anomalies and hidden treasures that might elude the casual observer. It was during one of these virtual expeditions, while navigating the icy terrain northeast of Isotok, Greenland, that he stumbled upon the strange triangular structure. The structure appeared to protrude from the surface of a large iceberg, its geometric outlines starkly contrasting against the pristine white backdrop of the Arctic landscape. From the satellite image, it was clear that the structure exhibited precise triangular symmetry, suggesting deliberate design rather than natural formation. Its edges were sharply defined, a testament to its substantial height and solid construction. The man was initially skeptical of the discovery, considering the possibility of an optical illusion or a glitch in the satellite imagery. However, as he meticulously analyzed multiple satellite views from different angles and lighting conditions, the triangular structure remained unmistakably present, consistent in shape and position across various images. Excited yet cautious, he shared his findings with fellow enthusiasts and online communities dedicated to satellite imagery and exploration. The discovery quickly gained traction on social media platforms and discussion forums, where theories and speculations abound about the nature and origin of the mysterious structure. Some hypothesized that the triangular structure could be an ancient artifact buried within the ice, preserved by millennia of Arctic conditions and recently exposed by shifting icebergs or glaciers. The possibility of a lost civilization or prehistoric settlement buried beneath Greenland's icy veneer captured the imagination of those drawn to mysteries of the past. Others speculated more boldly, suggesting that the triangular structure might be of advanced origin, a relic left behind by an advanced alien civilization that visited Earth in ancient times. Proponents of this theory pointed to the structure's geometric perfection and its unexpected location within one of Earth's most remote and inhospitable regions as evidence of an otherworldly connection. Mysterious structures seen inside the Moon's craters. In the vast expanse of space, our Moon has long been a subject of fascination and exploration, with countless missions aimed at unraveling its mysteries and unlocking its secrets. Among the intriguing anomalies observed in NASA's lunar photographs are mysterious structures nestled within moon craters. These structures, captured in high-resolution images from various lunar missions, have sparked speculation and debate among scientists, astronomers, and enthusiasts alike. The discovery of these strange structures within moon craters challenges our understanding of lunar geology and raises intriguing questions about their origin, purpose, and potential implications for our understanding of the Moon's history and cosmic phenomena. Images from NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter and other lunar missions have revealed anomalous formations within moon craters that appear to exhibit distinct geometric shapes and symmetrical patterns. These structures range from simple geometric outlines to more complex arrangements that defy natural erosion and geological processes known to occur on the lunar surface. Some structures appear as elongated or rectangular shapes protruding from crater walls, while others exhibit dome-like features or irregular formations that suggest artificial construction rather than natural geological formations. These observations have prompted speculation about the possibility of ancient lunar civilizations or extraterrestrial activity that may have left behind remnants of their presence. According to Donna Hare, a NASA launch photographic specialist, there was a facility in Johnson Space Center's Building 8 dedicated to airbrushing out unexplained flying aircraft from high-resolution satellite pictures. It's interesting to note that NASA has been charged with removing these abnormalities. According to current reports, NASA does not alter or airbrush their images to conceal proof of extraterrestrial life or other secrets. NASA has stated that it is dedicated to openness and providing accurate information about its missions and findings. UFOs seen above nuclear sites. UFOs seem to have an unsettling interest in nuclear-based locations, from the damaged Fukushima nuclear facility to various American missile stations. One of the worst nuclear accidents in history occurred at the Fukushima nuclear plant in 2011, when an earthquake and ensuing tsunami destroyed its electrical grid. Oddly enough, the explosion was shortly followed by UFO activity. Many in the area during this time stated that they were very prevalent. UFOs have been reported frequently in the vicinity of areas where nuclear activity has been sparked by humans, and according to author Dr. Jensine Anderson, there are very clear connections between nuclear occurrences and UFO sightings going back decades. She believes that there is an advanced presence operating primarily on Earth and in the oceans. Anderson claimed to have examined 39 separate testimonies between the 1940s and 1990s regarding UFO encounters close to nuclear installations, citing declassified US government reports from the FBI and CIA. According to Anderson, the 1986 Chernobyl incident in Ukraine serves as one of the most glaring instances of these kinds of activity surrounding nuclear installations. There were numerous reports of UFO activity, and additionally, multiple witnesses saw a UFO arrive during the height of the fire, stay for 3 minutes, flash a light at Unit 4, and then take off. It's reported that the worker measured the Röntgen and said that it seemed to have fallen to 800, adding that before the UFO was spotted, it was over 3,000. Anderson shares the chief monk of the Miracle Temple's belief that these advanced entities are attempting to save humanity from annihilation through nuclear disasters. Brazilian werewolf caught on camera. As the night settled over the city of Quilândia, located in the Federal District of Brazil, a security camera positioned in a secluded alley captured footage that would ignite speculation and fear throughout the community. This footage, purportedly showing a humanoid figure resembling a Brazilian werewolf, quickly spread across social media, local news outlets, and paranormal investigation circles, stirring curiosity and apprehension among residents. Quilândia, a bustling urban area known for its diverse population and vibrant culture, suddenly found itself at the center of a supernatural mystery. Reports of strange occurrences and sightings had circulated in the past, but the security camera footage provided tangible visual evidence, or so it seemed, of an otherworldly entity prowling the streets under the cover of darkness. The footage, grainy and captured in low-light conditions, depicted a figure moving with an unnatural gait and possessing features that appeared humanoid, yet distinctly animalistic. Witnesses who viewed the footage described the creature as resembling a werewolf from Brazilian folklore. According to Brazilian legend, the individual is believed to be a cursed individual who transforms into a wolf-like creature under the light of the full moon, terrorizing villages and feeding on livestock or unsuspecting victims. The creature is said to possess heightened senses, strength beyond human capabilities, and an insatiable hunger for flesh, a harbinger of fear and superstition passed down through generations. In the wake of the security camera footage, local authorities and paranormal investigators mobilized to investigate the incident and reassure a frightened populace. Skeptics cautioned against jumping to supernatural conclusions, attributing the footage to elaborate hoaxes, misidentified animals, or psychological perceptions influenced by cultural beliefs and folklore. However, paranormal researchers viewed the footage through a different lens, speculating on the possibility of an undiscovered species or a genuine encounter with a supernatural being. They analyzed the creature's movements, morphology, and behavior captured in the footage, searching for clues that might validate its existence beyond folklore and urban legend. The city where the sighting happened, with its blend of urban development and natural landscapes, provided an intriguing backdrop for the alleged sighting of the Brazilian werewolf humanoid. Located on the outskirts of Brasilia, Brazil's capital city, Quilandia's proximity to rural areas and dense vegetation offered plausible habitats for elusive creatures or mythological beings described in local folklore. Eyewitness testimonies emerged in the aftermath of the incident, with residents recounting encounters with strange creatures or unexplained phenomena in and around Quilandia. Some claimed to have heard eerie howls or witnessed fleeting glimpses of shadowy figures moving stealthily through the night, fueling speculation about the presence of supernatural entities lurking in the city's periphery. Oddly enough, werewolf sightings to this day have continued, and whether viewed as supernatural entities, psychological phenomena, or symbolic representations of primal fears, these tales continue to captivate imaginations and underscore the enduring allure of the unknown in Brazil's diverse and vibrant cultural landscape. The ghost of St Augustine's lighthouse. St Augustine, Florida, one of the oldest cities in the United States, is full of spirits and history. Tourists visiting the lighthouse claim to have seen a small girl dressed in historical attire standing next to an upstairs window or gazing out from the lighthouse door. A cell tower technician captured a picture of his colleague in 2009 with the lighthouse in the backdrop. The image shows a young girl standing by herself on the upper observation deck, dressed in a long dress and having long hair. The little girl's spirits are kind and avoid eye contact with guests. Regretfully, there are other, less agreeable characters at the lighthouse, such as the one who people have started to refer to as the man in blue. Many people who have worked or resided in the house have been horrified by this spectre, which follows them down all 219 of the tower's steps. One lighthouse keeper refused to stay in the lighthouse any longer because he was so uncomfortable. Finally, he was relieved of his duty by a coast guard who obviously had no fear of ghosts. Built in 1874, the lighthouse near the tip of Anastasia Island in St Augustine is one of many that have protected the city ever since Sir Francis Drake invaded the settlement in 1586. Now a National Historic Monument, St Augustine welcomes thousands of tourists every year. However, its history isn't the only reason why people visit. The lighthouse is said to be home to numerous ghosts that have haunted St Augustine throughout the years. The current lighthouse was built starting in 1871, after the old one built by the American government in the territory eroded and sank into the sea. Hezekiah Pittee was the person in charge of the project, and he let his kids play with the supply cart that went between the ocean and the lighthouse in order to keep them occupied. However, he would later come to regret that choice on July 10, 1873. Eliza and Mary, the two oldest Pittee children, lost their life after the cart fell into the lake after a day of playing. Though her name is omitted from newspaper articles, historians think that a third child was also taken out in the collision. Workers on the lighthouse claim that the playful ghosts of these kids still haunt the structure. The following day, workers will discover that the stairwell is filled with children's laughter and that locked doors are wide open. Unexpectedly, music boxes at the gift shop start to play on their own, and while guiding guests around the lighthouse, tour operators have reported numerous instances of being touched or grabbed by spirits. It's difficult to give an exact number of caves in the Grand Canyon, as new caves are still being discovered and the number is constantly changing. However, it's estimated that there are over 1,000 known caves within the Grand Canyon National Park boundaries. These caves vary in size and shape, and many of them are not accessible to the public due to safety concerns or to protect the delicate cave ecosystems. Various interesting discoveries are said to have been made at the bottom of the Grand Canyon. It's due to the vast, largely unexplored caves. There's been whispers that the area is holding many secrets, with one of the lesser-known ones being that the area may have once been the home of an underground ancient civilization, with those who explored the area saying that artifacts were found and that they belonged to the ancient Egyptians. This interesting story starts in 1909, when an explorer by the name of G.E. Kincaid found a variety of strange artifacts while exploring the Grand Canyon. He was sent there by the Smithsonian Institution, saying that he was told to explore the large caverns that were covered by a large entrance that was almost inaccessible. The team was led by Smithsonian anthropologist S.A. Jordan, but it was Kincaid who had allegedly made the discovery. The team reported that once inside, they found that the caves were in the shape of a wheel. saying that once they made their way inside the caverns, they found various artifacts, including copper artifacts and statues. The team also reported that the area was so big that it could have been inhabited by up to 50,000 people, noting that it was easily big enough to hold an ancient civilization. Although people living underground sounds like something from a movie, Derinkuyu is an underground city that was inhabited by people during the 8th to 7th century BC. Officials said the following about the discovery. Once the team started to look closely at the artifact, they noticed that they didn't match anything in their records and didn't match anything that had been found in the region, most notably those of the Native Americans. These artifacts more closely resembled those that were coming out of Egypt. The big question was, how did these ancient artifacts end up in a deep cavern within the Grand Canyon? And was there an ancient Egyptian civilization that had somehow made their way here? End quote. The Smithsonian later came forward and said that the team that had been sent down into the Grand Canyon didn't find anything, and that they have no proof that anything had been found. The only reply that the Smithsonian has given about the story is saying that they didn't find anything. As of right now, skeptics have said there is no credible evidence to suggest that there is an underground Egyptian city beneath the Grand Canyon. This is a common theory that has been circulating for decades, but there is no factual basis to support it. The mysterious photograph captured inside the Grand Caverns. There's been a number of interesting photographs that have been captured in national parks. One of these was taken in the Grand Caverns in 1895 by Orrin Jeffries. There's a limited amount of information on this photograph, but the story goes that amateur photographer Orrin Jeffries was exploring an unmapped section of Grand Cavern, something that few people have done due to stories of disappearances and encountering mysterious creatures. The caverns he was exploring were located in southwestern Virginia, and in recent years there's been a variety of theories that have been put forward that suggest the caverns aren't just caverns, but could be home to underground networks. In fact, this has been backed up in recent years by hikers who have said that they discovered underground networks while exploring the area. Orrin Jeffries made his way into one of the caverns, and due to not being able to see anything, decided to conduct a photographic experiment where he would point his camera out into the darkness and take a long exposure shot. For those unaware, a long exposure technique takes advantage of slow shutter speeds, which in turn allows the user to capture the motion of a moving element or more light from a night scene. During one of these sessions, he heard something moving deep in the cave, and due to him being alone and worried, he decided to set off one of the flashes in order to see what it was. After he left the cavern, he developed the photograph and could see that he had captured what appeared to be 3 humanoid-like creatures. He then approached the local newspaper and told them that 3 humanoids could be seen looking in his direction, and that after the photograph was taken, he ran out of the cavern as fast as he could. Interestingly, when researchers later enhanced the photo, they detailed that they could see one of the creatures raising its arm, with some suggesting that the humanoid may have had something in its hand like a rock, and that had Orrin stayed just a few more moments, he may have been attacked by the creature. The mysterious disappearance of Adam Clayton Lyle Jones at the Grand Canyon. Though the investigative services branch of the law enforcement generally try to solve cases as efficiently and quickly as possible, this sadly is not always the case, and most often than not, cases tend to grow cold for months or years afterwards. These cases are not closed and remain open and may become active should new evidence surface. Kathy Cupper, one of the spokespeople for the investigative services branch, said the following: "It's always there on the table. Sometimes a tip will come in, or someone will hear something, and it will go active again." End quote. Adam Clayton Lyle Jones is one of the unfortunate missing individuals whose case has grown cold. Jones went missing on the 31st of March back in 2011 and has not yet been found. The man, who was only 23 at the time of his disappearance and would now be 33 years old, was last said to have been last seen by his family in the Gulf Breeze in Florida. His family claim he left home early in the afternoon in a blue Oldsmobile Delta 88, and that the only personal possession he took with him was his laptop, no other notable belongings. Little did Jones's family realize that would be the last time they would ever get to see him again. It took until the 5th of May 2011 for a park ranger to acknowledge the abandoned Delta 88 car parked at the south rim center of the Grand Canyon National Park. At the time, Jones had not yet been reported as a missing person and therefore not initially considered as a victim. The park ranger managed to contact Jones's parents about the abandoned car, who then proceeded to file the missing persons report to the police. Contents found within the car included an itinerary of various routes of California cities and places in Denver, Colorado. Surprisingly, there was not a mobile phone in the car, as Jones did not have his phone on him when he went missing. To this day, investigators have no idea whether he was lost or injured in the wilderness, or if something else, far more morbid, might have happened. Furthermore, there is no actual evidence that he even entered the Grand Canyon Park, no photographic or witness proof that he was there, apart from the car parked in the car park. With so little to go off, investigators have had a difficult time finding any clues to Adam Jones' whereabouts. A worker for the Washington State Department of Transportation noticed something moving on one of their cameras. As they zoomed in, they said they could see what appeared to be a large human walking next to one of the trees, saying that it was much larger than a standard human. They then put out a post on social media, asking if any hikers had seen anything in the area, and requested that people be on the lookout. The Washington State Department of Transportation said that it's not a cardboard cutout and it hasn't been photoshopped. The worker said that they've never been up to the camera and that it's an area that doesn't often get visited by hikers. Some suggested that the photographs show a real humanoid creature, while others said that it could be the outline of a tree that's causing an illusion. However, the worker said this wasn't the case,